So today marks the start of New York Toy Fair going on at the Javits Center in New York City. And Basic Fun is there showing off what they have in store for the year with their newly purchased Arcade1Up lineup. It seems to be a mix of old classics from previous Arcade1Up lineups and a brand new IP that's, well, stick around and find out. Alright everyone, thank you so much for tuning in and checking out today's video. If this happens to be your first time on the channel, be sure to hit that subscription button, click the notification bell if you want to be notified every time I put up a new video, give this one a thumbs up, and leave a comment below if you want to be part of the conversation. So many of us in the home arcade community have been waiting with bated breath for the start of New York Toy Fair because we've known that Basic Fun was going to be there and that they were going to be showing off some new products for their Arcade1Up lineup. They've been teasing things along the way. They've been jumping into the chat of a lot of shows on YouTube, mine included, talking it up, teasing what they had to show, and a couple of days before the show, they even put up this post on their Facebook page. So several days ago, Arcade1Up posted this to their Facebook page saying, "See y'all at New York Toy Fair. Any guesses?" And you can see it's a silhouette of a cab with blue and yellow coloring and stars in the background. And of course, this had a lot of people guessing, what could this possibly be? Everything from Pac-Man to Q*bert, even The Simpsons was guessed. A lot of different people just speculating on what it could be. And Arcade1Up along the way has been saying that nope, nobody's really gotten it right. Well, now they're at New York Toy Fair and they're starting to put out announcements and we know exactly what they were referring to. So right around 10 a.m. Eastern this morning, Basic Fun put up another post on their Facebook page leading to this PR Newswire announcement. Basic Fun unveils category-defining home arcade collection. And it looks like what they have to unveil at New York Toy Fair are new cabs based on some old licenses we've seen before from Arcade1Up, including Pac-Man and Ms. Pac-Man, and a brand new one, Sonic the Hedgehog. So that's right, it looks like Arcade1Up and Basic Fun are going back to basics, such as it were, in releasing yet more in the Pac-Man, Ms. Pac-Man category, which, let's be honest, was something that we kind of all knew was coming, made a lot of sense for them to do. But now we're seeing that they've also acquired the license for Sonic the Hedgehog from Sega. So reading this Newswire article, it says here, following its 2025 acquisition of select assets of the Arcade1Up brand, Basic Fun, a global designer and marketer of toys and consumer products, today unveiled the first new home arcade collection under its stewardship, marking the next era of the category-defining brand. The lineup features two of the most legendary names in gaming, Pac-Man and Sonic the Hedgehog. The first collection from Basic Fun will debut this fall at major retailers, delivering the authentic arcade experience fans know and love, powered by iconic franchises, premium features, and unmistakable arcade attitude. As the Anchor Electronics licensee for Pac-Man home arcade products, through its licensing agreement with Bandai Namco Entertainment, Basic Fun's home arcade lineup will introduce new home arcade cabinets celebrating Pac-Man and Ms. Pac-Man, the most successful arcade franchise of all time. Designed for both longtime fans and a new generation of players, these machines honor the legacy that defined the golden age of arcade. Joining the lineup for the first time ever, Sonic the Hedgehog, which is celebrating the franchise's 35th anniversary this year, will make his home arcade debut through a multi-year partnership with Sega. The Sonic Supreme Series arcade game brings the Blue Burr home in a premium full-size standing cabinet built for speed, style, and serious nostalgia. This release marks the first of multiple Sonic titles planned for the collection. Finishing it up, it reads, "For many years, Arcade1Up has been at the heart of the retro arcade community, and we're honored to build on that legacy," said Dan Westcott, Senior Vice President of Global Brand Marketing at Basic Fun. "Our focus is simple: authentic gameplay, nostalgic design, and premium features that capture the true arcade-at-home experience for fans of all kinds. No quarters required." Media influencers and industry partners can get a first look at the new home arcade lineup at Toy Fair running February 14th to 17th at the Javits Center in New York City. So that's right, everybody, the news we've all been waiting to hear, more Pac-Man. Let's be honest, it was pretty obvious that Basic Fun was going to bring out something Pac-Man related. having acquired Arcade1Up, as you know, this article states, it's a staple of Arcade1Up. They're gonna release Pac-Man every single year. It looks like they've been able to acquire that Bandai Namco license as well. So, which is something again that they kind of had hinted at last year, even before the acquisition of Arcade1Up. So it really kind of makes sense. Now, the kicker here is the Sonic the Hedgehog one. That can be a real head scratcher for a lot of us in the home arcade community, because Sonic isn't something that we necessarily equate with the arcade. Yes, there is a Sonic 3D fighter that is out there, and there was also a Japanese-only Sonic game that used a trackball, but it doesn't look like that's what they're actually going to be bringing to the table here. So here's a quick look at the Sonic the Hedgehog cab from their Instagram page. You can see it playing what looks like the original Sonic the Hedgehog game. So, no arcade games? So here's a quick screenshot from a video, another video that they posted on their Instagram page. I'm going to play the whole video in a minute so you can kind of see the whole lineup of what they have at the show. But I wanted to focus on this real quick since we're talking Sonic and just show off a closer look at the cab. You can see the Sonic the Hedgehog marquee there. You can see the control panel here. Looks like it's set up for 2 players, 3 buttons on it. But more importantly, you can also see the lineup of games on here. And it looks to be the original Sonic the Hedgehog, Sonic the Hedgehog 2, Sonic 3D Blast, and Dr. Robotnik's something something. I don't know what that game is, if I'm being quite honest. Somebody can, comment below for sure. But these are not arcade games. These are most likely the Genesis ROMs that are going to be put into an arcade cab. So I have to admit my confusion here. Is this the big announcement that Arcade1Up was hinting at? Sonic, not even an arcade game, put into an arcade cab. And yes, I get it. It's the 35th anniversary of Sonic, so this is a way for them to celebrate that. But we've seen things like this from my arcade before, not in a giant size cab like this, but in like smaller little handheld games or even like tabletop games before, playing the ROMs and at a much cheaper cost, because you have to assume, because this is actually going to be a Supreme, which is the larger size, and we just saw the Supreme hit Sam's Club for the WrestleFest for $650. Is this going to be in that same $600 to $650 range for Sonic games that are readily available on consoles and other, devices and whatever? I don't know. Let me know in the chat. Is this what we want? Let me know. But moving away from Sonic somewhat, I'll get to it again a little bit more as I play this next video. I want to play one more video that they posted to their Instagram, just kind of showing the entire lineup of what they have going on over at Toy Fair. Alright, so this is the other video that they posted to Instagram, and it gives kind of a view of what they have over there at New York Toy Fair, what they're showing off. I'm going to pause the video as I go through it to point some things out. I want to start right here, really, before I start the video, showing off this. And what you can see here is it looks like they've got a display set up with kind of a mix of old and new. You've got their little mini handheld arcade classics, as well as 2 of their arcade classic countertops that just came out this year, the WrestleFest and the Centipede. But along with that, you've got some older Arcade1Up products, including a Pac-Man Partycade and a Pac-Man and Class of 81 Countercade. So just kind of showing off a mix of, old and new products based on their new acquisition. And you can see here, as the video is going to get started in a second, they've got a Golden Tee here, which I don't know if this is a re-release of the Golden Tee or if this is just showing off a Golden Tee Deluxe. It looks like this one might be just showing off the Golden Tee Deluxe because it's got the Arcade1Up branding on it. Next to that, you've got the Return of the Jedi that came out this year. And then this one is interesting. This is a Pac-Man, but there's a couple of things I want to point out here. First off, on some of these, you're going to see that it says pending licensor approval on it, which means that these might not actually be the final products. These are pending approval from Bandai Namco and things like that, so these could potentially change. But the overall look of this looks very similar to the Pac-Man Deluxe that Arcade1Up has already put out. But if you look a little closer, you're going to notice some differences. Let me pause it here and just go back a little bit. And one of the differences you're going to notice is that this screen here, this is not the menu screen from the Arcade1Up Deluxe. This is different. First off, it's only showing 7 games. Now, there could be more games on this. This may just be page 1, but I believe it's Pac-Man, Pac-and-Pal, Pac-Mania, Galaga, Dig Dug, Mappy, and Rompers. There's also nothing here showing like leaderboards or anything like this, so it's possible that they've taken the Deluxe shell, maybe changed it slightly, put their own software and versions of these games in there, removed Wi-Fi because we know that the original machines from Basic Fun didn't have Wi-Fi. There's no indication of leaderboards here. There's no live button that I can see on here, so it's very possible that they've removed the Wi-Fi from this. So same look machine as the Arcade1Up Deluxe, but potentially less games and less features with no Wi-Fi. Let me keep going. Next to that, they've got the Centipede that came out this year. They've got a Galaga, but again, this appears to be the old Arcade1Up one because it's got the Arcade1Up branding on it. Next to that is that Sonic the Hedgehog cab again. So again, seeing here, yes, that's the Arcade1Up. It even says something about the vault on it. So then you've got the Sonic the Hedgehog one. You can see a little better the side art here. Looks like it's got Tails and Knuckles on it. And then, again, this is all pending approval. I already showed you the screenshot of the games and the look of it. So I'll just kind of let this run a little bit just to kind of give you a little bit more. It's got the coin door on it. So again, this is going to be one of the Supreme versions. Same side art on the other side. Next to that is the WrestleFest Supreme that just came out, and what looks to be a Ms. Pac-Man next to it. And then this was another thing from their Instagram. So let me just kind of go back a little bit here. So this is actually pretty cool, and this looks like it may be a new one, possibly a Supreme, because it's got the coin door on it, and I don't see any of the Arcade1Up branding on it. But a lot of people have really wanted the blue Ms. Pac-Man for a while. And they've done the black and pink one before, Arcade1Up has. It looks like Basic Fun might actually be releasing the blue one, possibly in a Supreme, which would be nice because it'll have the 19-inch screen on it. We'll have to wait and see a little bit more info on what this is. But that's one I actually think is probably a good move from them. Again, even though it's a repeat of something we've seen before, if they put out a Ms. Pac-Man in the XL Supreme, if it's the blue one as opposed to the black and pink that we've seen before, and it's not this does not appear to be a class of 81 because this looks full on Ms. Pac-Man art. This is the one thing that I actually kind of like, if I'm being quite honest. But guys, there you go. That's a look at what Basic Fun and Arcade1Up have going on at Toy Fair. Now again, a couple of things to remember here. They are saying this is the fall 2026 lineup, so we might not see any of these get released throughout the year. We might have to wait till closer to the end of the year to actually see these come out. Again, remember that a lot of these machines do say pending licensor approval on them, so there could be changes along the way between now and when they finally release, possibly not come out at all. We'll have to wait and see. But I don't know. All in all, I'm not sure how I feel about this one. Again, I do think the blue Ms. Pac-Man is a good move from them. Sonic is good and bad. I think it's a good IP for Basic Fun and Arcade1Up. I think it gets them in the door for more Sega titles in the future, which would be great. I know a lot of people would love to see Sega return, maybe re-release Golden Axe, and do some different Sega titles along the way, maybe like a Virtua Fighter or something like that. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see if this really does open the door for Sega, or if it's just the Sonic license that they've gotten, because they said they have more planned for Sonic throughout the year. Again, which I'm assuming means a Countercade, maybe an Ultra as well as the Supreme. I don't know. Again, we'll have to wait and see. But guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. What do you think of this first lineup from Basic Fun with their Arcade1Up brand? But guys, that's going to do it for this video. I hope you liked it. I hope you got something out of it at least. If you did, please go ahead, leave me a like, leave me a thumbs up. It definitely helps the channel grow. Leave me those comments below. Let me know your thoughts on all of this, and I'm sure so many of you have them. If you're not subscribed to the channel yet, please go ahead and do that as well. And if you'd like to support the channel even further, you could consider getting a membership. But that's all for now. I will see you guys on the next one. Take care, and happy gaming.